Hello everyone, and what is going on? Hyperion-Blue-GT here. Welcome back to Gran Turismo 7 Part 160. Let's take on Japanese FR Challenge and American FR Challenge by the numbers from 450 to 550. Two races in Japanese FF Challenge 450 on the same title is all done and very well experienced to have some bold Honda Civic as well. Up to Autodrome Lago Maggiore and take on to have a good additional race event that I never come here before to have a good past results will be labeled by none. But more importantly, one Nissan Skyline R31 GTR is now well featured to go for having a 3-lap challenge and take on in the West Course layout. So I got a 2002 Mazda RX-7 Spirit R Type A FD model is about to be set and go for the standard color ever since to be received as a gift card from my first GT demo. 3 laps should do well and give a good nostalgia FR sports car to have a good place around in Europe besides 3 races to be specifically in Japan. So let's go out there, and looks like we have one opponent is about to go for having a nice hands on the R31 Skyline GTS-R Turbo. But more importantly, looks like Yuki Kodaka is about to get ready to have a nice good feature to be rolling up and have a starting grid to have 8 drivers as well. There he is right now, he's on the 7th position, and give one tip detail of the interaction. Konnichiwa, I'm Yuki Kodaka from Japan. Today, I'll be competing in the world's famous Nissan Skyline. This GTS-R is particularly special model of the Skyline that's well known to connoisseurs. Built to compete in Group A races, it was what was known as a homologation model. There are very few of these precious Skylines out there, so I tend to make good use of it on the track. Good to have you on board, Kodaka, and I see you right now on the 7th position in the grid, along with the Toyota Crown Athlete G 2013 and other vehicle, which is very perfectly along with Matthew Simmons in the Nissan Silvia S13 on the Diamond Selection. BRC S 2015 and 86, good, and let's go rolling in. 3 laps, 1 FD RX-7 will take the 8th position to go rolling start before the start of the countdown in 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Music turned on and go overtake on Yuki Kodaka in the 7th position on the R31 Skyline GTS-R. Turn 1 is doing well and go for the middle session along with him to be at turn 2. Alright, that's more like it. Going down on turn 3 to be on the hill. Overtake on the Subaru BRC S 2015 to go up and go forward to be having a main gap distance by 2.3 seconds towards Berleo Gallo in the Toyota A6 GT 2015. Whenever comes in to have my own session to go artist and a warm-up to have a good ways of a scene masterpiece. That's how I had to do this for only one good warm-up session of the practice for the segment. It's all about be creative to go driving up to have a good experienced road car to find a good line. Now I got a good start to be moving up in the 4th position after Arthur Ruggi in the Toyota A6 Sprinter Terreno. Got a good eye on the Toyota Crown Athlete G Sector 3. Alright, that's good. Now for M. Simmons in the 2nd position, I see him right now. Give a good sound of the rotary engine by the basic and handful by the response to be right down the hill towards the final corner. Piece of cake and going well JDM basic. Pretty much more good as ever to have this most FD RX-7 after playing my first GT to collect all 18 cars at once. But however, if you really are a beginner Gran Turismo player after playing my first GT, the basic is all about to have the experience that you really might need to get to know the basics about the cars and the track itself. But more importantly, I have a good eye on the Toyota Supra is in the 1st position on S. Fitzpatrick. Let's do a little bit more short on the battle. Just have to go basic up and have a good feel with the handling. Speed is good, and change of the gears wherever have to go for having a nice chime. Gear number 5, and here comes my favorite corner to be on the hillside. Just work it well and do a good FD reflex to go up and ride it up the turn. Okay, very good enough to have a faster lap time, so I had to beat my time record in a minute, 47.413 seconds. But looks like today is February 8th, that means the first week of the weekly challenges is already now opened. But I'll have to do that by tomorrow on Sunday, because it's going to be my only best time to do free time in Saturday to go focusing up on the list of events that I never come here before. Now, this will have to go and take the second lap to go finishing up early by the penultimate and go straight directly to be on the final lap. So whenever you're going to have to choose the right kind of a Japanese FR sports car, the best example that you really need to go for the Mazda RX-7 to be outfitted and equipped with the sports hard compound tires will do by default. Just like I just did well, and doing some other attempts to go practice up to have some basic up example without upgraded parts. Just give a good feel and suggested to go master to have a specific calculation of performance point might be doing well to be labeled on specified. But look at it go. I just took 11.6 seconds to be in a longer defense, and 7 drivers are still trying to catch up to my current position. Now only have to take 2 more sectors to go, and currently to go up in sector 2. Just mark up the yellow highlight and give a good touch of the apex to be at the right turn corner, and then third sector will take the last part. Alright, there we go. Just give a good feel and handle on the respawn handling to give a good FR layout to have a nice ways of counter steering. Demonstration as well, but characteristic of the driving vehicle style, which is going well to be on the front engine FR style. And for the final stretch, let's take home the checker flag and beat my record. Almost and quite good for the same time to be updated for the different decimal. And that's how you're about to be achieved first place when using any sports car without upgraded parts. Just have tire compound only to do the basic of example choice. But much more indeed to have a black RX-7 FD model to be quite corrective and well example to have a good total time in 5 minutes, 15.858 seconds for the total faster lap run in a minute, 44.035 seconds on lap 3. Good work. One race for Japanese FR Challenge is done. Now, American FR Challenge 550 at Trial Mountain Circuit to go for myself for the encore. 60,000 GT credit and attempted practice workout to be in session by 8 miles, adding up by 8.1 equals into 16.1. And for the replay, just have to go and have turn 1 to go place up and have Yuki Kodaka on the 7th position. Just give me a moment to have a thumbnail image on the captured. Just have the black RX-7 FD and the 81 Nissan Skyline GTS-R Turbo. Skipping in on turn 1 and go around on turn number 2. Much more indeed, and go apparently to have this good spot right over here. There we go. 2 cars and 1 good thumbnail image as a replay masterpiece. That should do well enough. Let's go to the Trial Mountain Circuit as I'm about to use the Dodge Challenger R/T Hemi 1970s. As you already seen, remember back then when I was been participate of the weekly challenges to go for the first time ever on the visit. but clearly as indeed one location in America and past results on the first position to go in the reverse direction. So I've been here before, and let's go. We're having a nice 550 in the American F-Bar Challenge 550 to go, recommended on the give icon on the present. Let's have a good check, and tire by default is on the comfort sub, which is might need to go by quick up improvement of the example if you already have some tuning parts to be fitted and installed. Just have to purchase on 3 sports tire at once onto the hard, medium, and sub. Got to go switch out automatically and make it much more suggested to go calculate to be at 525.41. Let's field the American muscle car and take on for the same 3-lap challenge in a different course, just like Autodrome, Lago, Maggiore on the West course, to be well embraced for the Japanese road car, and specifically to have a variant in American F-Bar Challenge to go in 550. This will be my encore and a demonstration after for the previous menu book to go for the same title of event to be listed by 3. Here comes the time of day is on the sunset, and here we have Jeffrey on the Chevy Chevelle SS 454 1970. I'm Trent Jeffrey from Canada. This Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 is an American muscle car masterpiece. I just know I can't count on this mighty V8 engine. Nothing compares to it in terms of sound or speed. Well, maybe give it both. It's always about having a good sound of the muscle car to be packing the V8 engine. That will be a very good racing moment, and let's give it a good rolling start to have myself on the last position in the tent. As I already did by having one racing practice warm-up to have my free time, and the momentarily to go for having a classic muscle car to take on with a Dodge Viper GTS as the main opponent example. Daniel Solis is on the 9, so I had to go in there and take the first and second turn by having a main opposite chicane to get there to be steady up and have the handling to go for the left and the right for turn 2. Just had to pack up and give a good feel of the sound in the V8 engine to go climbing up and have turn 3 will be on the right corner. Got to be mindful and use the radar if you can. Okay, very close enough. Just have to be patient and wait to go overtake at the Dodge Viper to get there at turn 5. So you have to be patient and wait until going in at sector 2 after taking the first sector by proper speed of warm-up. But this position right here is going to be your only advantage to have your best way to go overtake by having some 4 cars until you'll be on the way at the 6. See? Just like that, and give a good feel of a classic muscle car to have turn number 5 as the example to keep a good proper inside to be filled to have a right advantage to go by having a total gap distance by the lane in 14.4 seconds. So here it comes. There's about to go faster up to have the Ford Mustang GT 2015 driven by Takuma Sasaki, and Daniel Solis is already in at position 7. Talk about modern muscle cars always had the best horsepower and best performance. But however, classic muscle cars still have a relatively to go for a skill pool set to have a similarity to be compared to the modern muscle cars. Just have to give a 4-speed transmission and have a sports compound tires to be recommendable if you already have enough tuning parts to go full upgrade to be suggested by over 550. Got to go worked up and overtake Adriano Carrozza in the Pontiac Firefoot Trans Am 1978, and also for A. Felix in the Chevy Camaro C28 1969. First lap clear, and lap 2 by a faster lap achieved in 2 minutes 23.756 seconds. Okay, time to go round 2 and have 2 American muscle cars is still left standing on the grid. Be better in the Ford Mustang Mach 1, and Felix is still in the dirt. Just have to keep it nice and calm. get behind on the Camaro if I had to do a little bit amount of slipstream, then turn 4, wait, and avoid a contact. Alright, that should do well enough. Almost there. Just had to get back to the same spot after first one. Nice and very good. Only down to 8.7 seconds left to catch up to F. Joyner in a Chevy Corvette Stingray C2 model. But always be sure to recognize the cars and the main opponents just to see how the right kind of American muscle car to go classic or modern to have your own decision to pick. Well, I'm always have to go various for each part of the event when I took the first one in the previous weekly challenges. Just hold that line here and steer well to have a nice proper line of the reflex to go touch up the apex and go back directly in sector 3. Only 7.6 seconds left. Got to go feel the muscle car and feel the handling on the main skill to go for a perfect racing line on the check. Just to clarify, make sure do the best moment to have the right pick of the muscle car before take part to have a good main event in the FR challenge to be 550 for every American vehicles. So there it is. I have a far distance on the Chevy Corvette Stingray C2 is in the lead and go to the final lap. Let's do it, and just have to get there for having a right spot of the objective to go in first. This will be a good moment to have a one-on-one muscle car showdown between the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray C2 versus the Dodge Challenger R/T Hemi 1970. Got to be sure to have my best effort and go in at turn 3. Just bring out a good horsepower and give a little bit more push. Deaccelerate first. Now just have to go opening straight to have a good pedal to the metal. Alright, just wait for it. Just had to do the third time and overtake the Corvette C2 1963. The Challenger is in the lead. Just give a good old-fashioned basic and have the right Challenger will do the racing competitive to go for FR racing style. Okay, very good underestimate to have the C2 Corvette to go back in the lead. Good speed and momentarily to have the right spot to go back in turn number 8 and 9. But very yet example to have a good corner perfection to come out at tunnel 1 and tunnel 2 when you're in the reverse direction in the Trial Mountain circuit. Let's see how it turns out if I had to be well defended to take on to be strategized to be faced with a C2 Corvette. It's only down 2.7 seconds and go for a little bit more increase to pack up the defense. Just have to keep it nice and have the final turns to go on the right reflexes to be touch up the apex. Final stretch, here I go, and watch the gap. I'm at almost 2.8 seconds and give the podium finish to be reached up at the first. Now that's what I call old-fashioned American racing in exactly for the 21st century. Old school fashion and first place as ever to be achieved on the podium. But that will be doing my best part of the thing to go encore, and let's see the past results. Total time in 7 minutes, 7.948 seconds, and third lap by the faster mark on 2 minutes, 20.719 seconds. Now that's basic racing competition. Clean race and 84,000 GT credit just to see how you can learn so far out there to have the main example to go clean on the racing effort. But unfortunately, I just already did by having a good basic workout by 29.6 miles to receive a roulette ticket and additional on the driving marathon in 10.4. But good enough, and driving marathon of today in 40 miles is doing well indeed. Now then, let's have the playback position and give me a close-on moment to have a creativity to have a good on the capture thumbnail image for another round. And there's the right spot, and right on the scene, right over here. Alright, that's more like it, and good as ever on the Chevelle SS is quite indeed. Okay, so that's another content replay for having a good part, and momentarily to have a good early sunset has now been well amazed to be on the morning. As the two variants in FR challenge between one Japanese and one American is now well done, let's have a good check on event directory to be keeping up on the progress to be stopped at 95%. That's more like it. And available weekly challenges to go with 5 races. We might have to go for the reminder of this week. So perhaps week number 2 in February to have 5 races, so I'll have to be mark a bit to have the next part of the content video. But instead, time for me to go back to the GT Cafe, and current progress to have another extra menu for a card collection is on the number 9 to be left remaining. It's getting closer, and just had to keep a good line of progress after having a good showcase with 3 Nissan Motorsports. So there it is, extra menu number 35, Dodge. Collect some of Dodge most American cars. As you can see folks, this is a very good kind of a muscle car to have the Dodge Charger R/T 426 Hemi 1968, Dodge Viper GTS 2002, and the Dodge Challenger SRT Demon 2018. 5-star roulette ticket, and I just got everything to be acquired and go receive the prize. Congratulations, you got all 3 cars. This completes your Dodge collection. Once you collect your present, I got some stories to tell you about these cars. Sweet. Now this is a good picture, domestic, not domesticated, to have a good Dodge vehicle for having a collection. Dodge complete as a collection, and 5-star roulette ticket has now acquired as an extra menu for participate to go complete. So let's roll it in and give the narrative story on extra menu number 35. Dodge is a brand with deep roots in American car culture, with more than 100 years of manufacturing experience. These 3 cars clearly convey its enduring appeal. A menacing V10 power exotic car killer, the Viper has been praised as a modern take of the Shelby Cobra. Meanwhile, the 1968 Charger 426 Hemi and the 2018 Challenger SRT Demon had played starring roles in America's homegrown muscle car history. Muscle cars emerged between the 1950s and 1970s as a popular style of high-performance vehicle. Their design philosophy was quite simple. Start with a large V8 and drop it into a medium or large size car, then tune said car for optimal speed and acceleration. Released in 1966, the Charger quickly emerged as a star of this muscle car culture. Its high-performance 7.0-liter Hemi V8 engine produced close to 450 horsepower. This 1968 model bore a striking design that was immediately recognizable viewed from above. The 2 geometric shapes that distinguish its front and rear form are called a double diamond. With its brute strength and beautiful style, the 68 Charger was an undisputed muscle car masterpiece. In 1970, Dodge unveiled another muscle car, the now legendary first-generation Challenger R/T. In the 2000s, Dodge reimagined this exceptional car for the modern day. Among the modern challengers, the most iconic is this SRT Demon. Powered by a 6.2-liter V8 with more than 800 horsepower, it could be fitted with drag racing tires upon request. This is indeed a fine collection of Dodge cars that speaks to its strength and style of American car culture. Much amazing and built to have a good muscle car to be played the role for the Charger and the Challenger for 100 years in Dodge history. Including with the Dodge Viper GTS to be included with the V10 engine is the spiritual successor of the Shelby Cobra. Much more obliged, and that would be a very good indeed to have the Charger to be built as a classic and the Challenger between the first and third generation to have the 20th century and 21st century to be built to have a good sound of the V8 engine. Number 35 turns out to have a good moment to have a muscle cars in America. So next up to have extra menu number 36, Lamborghini. Collect some cars from Lamborghini, one of the world's most famous supercar brands, to get two classic on the Mira P400 Bertone prototype 1967, followed by the Countach LP400 1974, and the hypercar for the Aventador LP700 dashboard 2011. But I'll have to get down to it to have a next continuation to have the main focus on the Clubman Cup events to be having one race only to be in Japanese Clubman Cup and European Clubman Cup. But part 161 will be coming up soon as I'm about to wrap it up before at the end of the video, folks. But one more thing to have the reward challenge available to be heading back to the GT garage. But more importantly, I'll have to get down to it and I'll have to keep moving on forward to have some prizes to be available by one time only. Now, let's have a 6-star roulette ticket and have the current expiration date to go for a reminder along with a 4-star ticket. Let's start out to have the 4-star and 6-star roulette ticket will go last of the day. Just give me one prize and we'll pass by to go for a small earning. That should do well by 10,000 GT credits and update my current balance. Now for the 6-star roulette ticket. Let's see which one should I get for the high prize. 2-of-a-kind Vision Gran Turismo car or 100,000 GT credits. But that will have to take one good receipt, but the off-road version is going to be the Ital Design Vision GT Street Mode. Correction, and good kind of a variant for having one good concept car for the Vision GT. Stale color has acquired, and collector points to be updated from 687,341 into 688,341. I will have to continue on and take on the next two events by one race at a time. We'll go down to have a number of car collection to be on the extra by 8 lap more to go. It's about to get closer to have a good ways to have a nice encore for myself since the weekly challenges, but reintroduction is going to be my only best effort to have a good list as the full walkthrough will always have to keep continuing on for my GT7 journey. So thank you for enjoying watching the video on Gran Turismo 7. I hope you enjoyed. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel for a like, comment, then click the bell for a notification on upcoming content videos if you'd like to see. Follow me on DeepNetArt, Instagram, Twitter, GT Planet, Patreon, Discord, and more social media platforms. Plus, membership is now open to everyone. Will join to get access for prize levels a month with exclusive perks, custom emoji with my OCs, and many features to support the channel. It's the best way to help out with the super thanks as an extra, will support and grow. I'll be see you guys next time on Gran Turismo 7 and continue on in part 161 at the next video. Keep on racing, stay clean.